Hi, I'm Shauki from Legend Effects, and today I will help you to create this nice dynamic slideshow to showcase your items and goods in a trendy and creative way. Easy steps and just with After Effects. Enjoy! In a new After Effects file, let's try first by creating a new composition. Let's rename it Item 01. This composition size will be 800 pixel by 1000 pixel. Duration is 1 minute. After creating the composition, let's create a new solid. We'll choose a dark gray. Choose whatever color you want. We'll push it to the top. Create another solid. This time is a red color. Push it to the bottom. Make it to the side. This one will be the price display. Let's create another solid. This time we'll choose an orange color or yellow color. Push it to the back and let's create the edge of our composition. After that, we'll create the last solid. It will be a white color. Using the rectangular mask, we'll draw a mask like this way. With double M on the keyboard, we'll increase the feather. Double click on the mask shape, increase more the feather, and let's play on the mask opacity. Push it to the bottom. Now it's time to import our first item. Let's import our first item. It's a PNG file on the mobile, and push it to the back. Adjust the size. Our first item is ready, but now I will create a text and I will input any text. I will push it to the top. It will be the title or the name of our item, but we'll add, like with a small trick, I will add this expression, this comp dot name. Like this way, the text, it will take the name, the input of the text will be the name of the composition. I'll create another text. It will be the price. For example, here $15, a mobile of $15. Sounds nice. Change the color, $15. Okay, now our item is ready. Let's now create another composition, our master composition. I will rename it master. The size, it will be square size, 2000 pixel by 2000 pixel. Now it's time for the interesting part. I will try to recreate that nice animation. To do that, I'll drag and drop my item inside the master composition. I will try to create a new adjustment layer. On that adjustment layer, I will double click on the ellipse tool to create a circular path, circular mask. That will be my path. I will select the path. I will open the position properties of the item, select the path, Ctrl C to copy it, paste over the position properties, and the result is the item is following the path for one lap or one time. Now it's time to create a loop. To do that, I will create an expression with Alt pressed on the keyboard, property, and I will choose loop out. Type is cycle. This expression will be responsible of creating a loop of the created keyframes. Now it's time to create the camera, 35mm to start, and I will try now to turn the 3D feature of the layer, but I will have to change the facing of the camera. So to do that, I'll create a null object and I will link my item to the null object, and I will flip for the x-axis minus 90 degrees. Now it's the turn of the item 1 to flip it 90 degrees on the x-axis. And look now, we have our item looping on the path and facing the camera. As you can see, the null object was responsible of flipping all the scene. It's better than struggling how to animate or struggling how to reorient the camera. I will zoom out a little bit the camera to see the whole scene, and now I have to work on the opacity In fact, the opacity should be increasing when the item is approaching the camera, and decreasing when it's going far. When I inspected the keyframes, I found that when the object is in the front, the coordinate position is 1000, and when it's very far, it's -1000. So for that, I decided to link the opacity to the Y position of the item. This is a nice solution, but the issue is the object is disappearing when it's halfway going far. But for us, we have another solution how to do it. So as I told you, we noticed that the value of the Y position between -1000 to 1000. So I have another solution to use the linear interpolation expression. Just I've changed the t factor will be the Y position of the item. As the Y position is growing from -1000 to 1000, the opacity will grow from 0 to 100. Like this way, we will have the opacity growing from far and reaching the maximum value 100 when it's in front, just exactly in front of the camera. Now it's time to duplicate the layer to create the remaining 7 items. To do that, I have to reveal the keyframes, press U on the keyboard, and I will try to place the second layer, or the copy of this layer, in between the keyframes. It will start between the keyframes. But as I'm leaning here on 25 images per second, I'm not sure that I will be in the middle between the two keyframes. So to create more comfortable space to work, I have to stretch with Alt pressed in the keyboard. I have to stretch the keyframes till 8 seconds. For that, I have to create copy and to delay it to make it to start at exactly 1 second. The third copy will start at 2 seconds, and so on. I'll proceed every time to place the layer exactly to start at exactly at the second. The last layer will be at the 7th second. Here I created the loop or the sequence of the flipping items. Now I will duplicate in the project panel, my item till I have 8 copies, and I will start updating every copy with the created new copy. For example, start with the item 1, 2, 3, 4 till the last item. To do that operation, select in the composition panel, and after that with Alt pressed, you can drag and drop the new item to replace it. Now I have the 8 items. I don't know if you noticed that every copy of the item is taking a new index. So every copy is taking a new index and the text is updating. Now it's time to import the remaining 7 items, the images of the remaining 7 items, and I will start replacing every item in every item composition. As a reminder, use the keyboard, the Alt pressed on the keyboard to change the pictures of the items. Resize when it needed. Now I will do the same thing for the prices. Here the second item, I'll update the price, $7 for a joystick. It's nice. For the headphone, I'll give it another price, $3 for the mouse. Maybe the laptop is more expensive, $18. I'm worried if there is a tablet with $10 too. And the last piece is the watch, $9. Now I have 8 different items with 8 different pictures and the prices. Everything is ready to proceed to our composition, output composition. But before that, I think it's time to enhance a little bit the look of our scene. To do that, I will check if I have the depth of field activated. I will increase the aperture. For example, here, after a lot of tests, I found like 200 pixels and blur level 400. I can lean on mathematical operation to guess exactly the focus distance. So I can just subtract 1000. It's the position of the item from the Z position of the camera, and I can find the right position or the right position of the focus distance. Now, as final adjustment, I want to move a little bit the null object and to move all the element a little bit to the top, so I can have like the camera will be more, looks like it's on the ground, directly on the ground. And now the last part is to create the output composition. It will be a standard HD composition with a duration of 1 minute. I will drag and drop my master composition inside my output composition. I will adjust the size of my scene, and I'll try to inspect the animation. I'll create a background, light gray background or white in the background. And I can see that my animation is going well, but the only issue, it's slow. And I want in this animation every time to stop or to highlight one item at every time it's facing the camera. So to do that, I'll lean on the time remapping. Right click, time remapping, and I will start selecting at the exact moment when the item is in face of the camera. So at 4 seconds, 5 seconds, the third element will be at 6 seconds, the fourth, 7, and so on. The last item will be at the 11th second. After finishing the last item's keyframe, I will give a little bit space for the animation to continue, and I will place the last keyframe. That will be my outro. Then in order to give the item more time in front of the camera, to hold in front of the camera, I will use F9, select the middle keyframes, press F9 in the keyboard to create an easy ease. And I will place the keyframe like this order using Ctrl+Shift+D. I will cut the layer at the end, the last part, we don't need it. Create scale and position keyframe or animation at the end, and decreasing the opacity. It will be my ending of the animation. Just to remind you that I used the best value for me that fits my animation for the middle keyframes of the items. The interpolation will be 100. Here Ctrl+Shift+F9 for the scale and the position when it's starting, finishing, or ending the animation. Everything is ready now. The animation looks nice. There is one issue here that I found, that the highlighted element is really is not the appearance of the highlighted element, or the scale of the highlighted element is not, there is no big difference between it and the two elements in the sides. So to do that, I found a trick. A new solution is to create a new null object, make it 3D, and let's link the camera to this null object. In fact, I will play on the scale of the null object. It will affect the camera. I will work more on, not on the X or on the Y axis, I will work more on the Z axis. In fact, this trick will extend or will scale up or scale down the scene. As you can see here, my item in the front is a little bit bigger of the other items, and we can recognize the difference between the frontal element and the element behind. Now it's time to work more, or to guess more, the focus distance. We come back to our output composition, and you can see the difference now. I will adjust the size, maybe here, the scale. It is more in the position than the scale. As we are reaching now the end of this tutorial, feel free to enhance your scene the way you like. For example, here I decided to duplicate this layer in order to simulate a little bit of the reflection on the ground. Don't forget to remove the scale and the position, as I will change the scale here, and I will link it to my main scene. I'll link it like that. I will create a mask here in order to feather a little bit the reflection. With double M on the keyboard, I will increase the feather of the mask. I will give it more blur. Here I choose vertical. You can even add more effects. For example, you can change the color, so make the highlighted element with color and the others without color, or you can desaturate that will give more highlight to the element in the center. And you can add maybe motion blur. We'll go inside the nested compositions and activate the motion blur effect.
Here we are reaching the end of this After Effects tutorial. I hope you enjoyed your time learning new tricks, new After Effects tricks. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and leave a comment if you want. I will be more than happy to answer to your questions. Bye.